The president has been transparent. He has followed through on his promises to the American people, but he doesn't like to see Democrats and the mainstream media covering this like it's the biggest story that the American people care about.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, and he will, by the way, be getting no credit for anything that any of you are excited about if he cannot sort out his answer on the Epstein files.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
But don't pretend to care about that. Yeah. But you're speaking on that from a political perspective, not a moral one, so it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
I actually am interested in it.
I'm interested
Jessica,
in
you never brought it up for years.
That's not true.
Jessica, the polls are so boring.
Fine. How about the humans? Mike Flynn, you're a human. Charlie Kirk, you're a human. Steve Bannon, you're a human. They're all mad.
At this point, just mentioning the name Epstein is enough to cause a full roundtable meltdown on Fox News.
Well, if you care about the Constitution and the rule of law, Trump is right. The auto pen is way more serious than Jeffrey Epstein.
But go on a rant about how people on the right should just treat the word Nazi like black people have taken back power in regards to the N-word. Well, that will get you a primetime slot on the network.
This is why the criticism doesn't matter to us when you call us Nazis. Nazi this, Nazi that. You know, I'm beginning to think they don't like us. You know what? I've said this before. We need to learn from the blacks. The way they were able to remove the power from the N-word by using it. So from now on, it's what up, my Nazi? Hey, what up, my Nazi? Oh my God. Hey, what's hanging, my Nazi?
Nazi, please.
Thank God you did a hard eye there. What does it tell you, though?
It seems that every day Trump finds a new way to both alienate his once trusted supporters while simultaneously finding more obvious ways to look guiltier. Basically running away from reporters yesterday and sending out his chief propagandist Caroline Leavitt today to offer non-answers and deflect.
Thank you for being with us today. Sure. Jackie.
Thank you, Caroline. There's been a lot of discussion about the Epstein files and the president's comments yesterday calling it a hoax. Can you clarify which part of the Epstein hoax is the hoax part?
The president is referring to the fact that Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an asinine suggestion for any Democrat to make. The Democrats had control of this building, the White House, for 4 years, and they didn't do a dang thing when it came to transparency in regards to Jeffrey Epstein and his heinous crimes. It was this president who directed the Department of Justice and the Attorney General to do an exhaustive review of all files related to Jeffrey Epstein, which they did. The Attorney General and the FBI, led by Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, these are great patriots, some of the most trusted voices in the Republican Party movement. It's part of the reason the president appointed them to these high law enforcement positions, and they spent many months going through all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein, and they concluded what they found in that memo, which they drafted and they released. And so the president has been transparent. He has followed through on his promises to the American people, but he doesn't like to see Democrats and the mainstream media covering this like it's the biggest story that the American people care about.
Because maybe a little difficult to believe, the idea that DOJ and the FBI, who prosecute cases relating to this, don't have any idea who Epstein's clients were and that he had no record of it, of the clients. I don't know. I find that kind of hard to believe. I mean, my view is make public everything you can make public.
But it appears his efforts to desperately try and get people to stop talking about Epstein have only done the exact opposite. And despite best efforts from fellow hosts on the network to shout down her point, Jessica Tarlov was on hand to point out that this isn't just something that Democrats want brought to light. An overwhelming majority of Republicans polled want the files released also. But clearly her co-hosts must have got the same memo as Charlie Kirk and co, as they were fast to try and deflect the conversation away from Epstein and Trump to anything whatsoever.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, and he will, by the way, be getting no credit for anything that any of you are excited about if he cannot sort out his answer on the Epstein files.
But don't pretend to care about that. Yeah. But you're speaking on that from a political perspective, not a moral one, so it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
I actually am interested in it.
I'm interested
Jessica,
in...
You never brought it up for years.
That's not true.
Jessica, the polls are so boring.
Fine. How about the humans? Mike Flynn, you're a human. Charlie Kirk, you're a human. Steve Bannon, you're a human. They're all mad.
Now you're on their side.
You know what?
What a coincidence. She's now wants to know about Epstein now that Trump's in the office. Didn't care when Biden was there. What else do you care about? Who ran the presidency?
What?
Did you actually care who was running the White House when Joe was in office? Did you care about that?
This is such an incredible deflection.
No, it's not.
You brought up Epstein.
I'm showing you it's a pattern.
You brought up Epstein.
I'm talking about why this president is not doing a good job on everything from the border.
But you just said he
just closed the border permanently, Jessica.
Immigration policy. Go ahead.
You are
conflating.
No, Jessica. You are conflating legal with illegal. I get it because he's winning on illegal. Doesn't work.
Okay.
All right, up.
Which is hilarious considering Fox, Republicans, Trump himself were the ones ensuring that Epstein was the focal point of their campaign. I believe the words on those massive binders were, quote, most transparent administration in history.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
But all of a sudden now it's a Democrat hoax.
Please do not let that story go.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
I mean, if you believe this, then your tolerance for snake oil is next level. However, when you look at Trump's handling of the Epstein files, partnered with the apparent rift going on within the MAGA contingent, it's apparent that the man is hemorrhaging support. And instead of following through on his campaign promise, he's just doubling down, blaming any Democrat that just pops in his head. And of course, his go-to, it's all Biden's fault. To the point that he's so confused, he doesn't even remember nominating Jerome Powell to the Fed and wants to blame Biden for that also.
Back considering firing Jerome Powell.
He's a terrible Fed chair. I was surprised he was appointed. I was surprised, frankly, that Biden put him in. It is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve.
And the result of all this is that his base are fleeing. His approval rate is abysmal.
Not the people that you want to be hearing from on this. I think having border crossings down to 0 is an incredible achievement. The problem is that the rest of the immigration policy is in absolute shambles. His approval rating on immigration ranges from -27, that's in Gallup, to -19 in CNN and -15 in the new Quinnipiac poll that's out today. He's in the red or underwater, however you want to say it, on deportations as well, which was one of his key promises. In the CNN poll, his approved strongly number down to -21. It's the lowest it's been at any point in either of his administrations.
Why do you think that is?
Because he's not doing a good job at being president.
Yeah, I think, look, it's clear from what the president himself has said, although he wouldn't put it this way, that he got played by Putin and it dragged on for months. And he was being jollied along under the impression that Putin had obviously given him that Putin wanted to end the war and was prepared to negotiate from where we are.
And no amount of lies about inflation, gas prices, or any art of deflection that he conjures up will stop people talking about this issue.
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.